Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist and I own 52 units of real estate. So recently I've been rereading the book, The One Thing by Gary Keller with Jay Papasan. And why I'm reading it is I want to reinforce what I'm doing right now and to give me clarity in different seasons of my life, right? So I initially read this book. I think I bought this book like, I want to say 3, 4 years ago. And it was really eye-opening for me because it's cool when you're going into investing and entrepreneurship to do multiple things, right? Like you want to, like for me at one point I owned single family homes. I just joined a multifamily mentorship to buy my first multifamily deal. I was looking at like laundry mats and how to invest in that. I was looking about mobile home parks and learning about that, learning about self storage, triple net. I was looking at like an Amazon drop shipping FBA business. I was looking at buying a pharmacy. I was just doing so many different things, right? And it sounds cool and sexy to say like, oh, I do all these things, but in reality, if you're juggling multiple things, you're going to drop a lot of balls that are going to break, and you are better off just taking all your time, all your energy, and doing the one thing that you're the best at, right? So for me, it just took doing a lot of different things to realize that, okay, like what is my one thing, right? Like it gave me clarity by doing a lot of things, experiencing firsthand, and then getting that clarity after losing money, right? So if that's the way you learn, unfortunately, that's like me, then you just have to like do a lot, fail, and then you'll change, right? But if you're wiser, you can learn from other people's mistakes, right? And have that clarity and keep charging at it. So let me kind of backtrack a little bit again, right? So in 2021 was probably my year of most shiny object syndrome and doing a lot of different things because I was just laid off from my job, right? So I had more time on my hands. I had distaste towards my pharmacy career because I was laid off despite everything I've poured into pharmacy. And at that point, I owned about 3 to 4 single family homes, which were all house hacks, right? And from there, I was just like, okay, well, I felt like I've done well in single family homes. I house hacked these properties. I was at the phase where I didn't want to continue house hacking because I wanted more privacy, right? I was dating my girlfriend, who's now my fiance, who's gonna be my future wife. So I didn't want that house hacking didn't seem appealing to me anymore. So I said, okay, what's next for me? I want to retire early, so I need multiple streams of income, right? That was just kind of what I was chasing, to be honest. So from there, basically started looking into many things. I mentioned I joined a multifamily mentorship program, right, to learn to buy multifamily real estate because I wanted to go out of state. I'll buy outside of California so that I could get more cash flow, and I could buy apartment complexes in Oklahoma, which were under $1 million, right? Which was my price point because most of the single family homes I was buying was about $1 million. So from there, that's what I continued to do, right? So I was like, all right, I want to do multifamily, which is aligned with real estate. And then from there, I was like, oh, I want to do Amazon drop shipping business. It's quick, easy money. I just, pay somebody. Um, they'll find the products for me. They'll take care of everything. And I just collect the cash flow and split it 50-50. Sounds easy, right? That ended up losing money. It was from a popular YouTuber, Ryan Panetta. He offered like a Amazon drop shipping store, which was a complete, terrible business. And I lost $30,000 because of shiny object syndrome. And at the allure of quick and easy money, that's not the case, right? So I deviated from my one thing, which was real estate, and lost money, right? I also opened up a independent pharmacy, which I kind of helped out like 3 hours a day. So I just thought, okay, I'm a pharmacist. I've been a pharmacist, so owning a pharmacy is very natural, right? And found out that what didn't like it, didn't make much money. It's not scalable, um, and I ended up losing $30,000. Once again, I deviated from my one thing, which was real estate, right? I bought a. I was looking into laundromats at one point, right? But realized that it seems a little bit too labor intensive. Wasn't for me. So luckily, I dodged a bullet there. I was looking at self storage too because it's recession resistant, right? That's what people tell you. But I sent out some letters For self-storage, I spent about $500, but decided after that, like, you know what, not as easy as I thought it was. Left it, lost $500, saved me a lot of money. Shiny object syndrome. I deviated from my one thing, right? And so as time goes on, I bought a 26 unit apartment complex, a 20 unit apartment complex, and once again I deviated from my one thing and bought a mobile home park, which lost money in, right? I lost $100,000 in that mobile home park. I have a whole video talking about that, but as you can see, even though mobile home park is real estate, I deviated from my one thing, which I'm good at, which is single family homes in California. That has house hack, apartments in Oklahoma, and single family homes in Alabama, right? So those are my unfair advantages, and those are my one things, right? Just single family homes in California and Alabama, and apartments in Oklahoma. So even that was deviating from, mobile home park was deviating from that, and I lost money. So every time I deviated from my one thing, I lost money. So now, basically, what my one thing is for real estate is, or for investing in real estate, is just scaling what I'm already have a team at and what my unfair advantage is, right? So what's that? It's buying house hacks in California, right? But right now I don't want to do that because I don't want to house hack anymore, right? So that's one thing that's crossed off, but that helped me build my initial wealth. The next thing is continue to buy apartment complexes in Oklahoma, right? Continue to scale that. And the next thing is new construction in Huntsville, Alabama, single family homes. I have unfair advantage in that as well, right? So those are probably the two that I'm gonna focus all my time and energy in, right? Is putting all my effort into those two, and that's enough wealth for me to retire early and do whatever I want without much stress, right? That's sustainable over a long period of time, fits my lifestyle. If something were to happen to me, my future wife and kids can take over the reins, right? It's sustainable in that way. Um, Another thing is with stocks, it's not really my one thing, but what I like is I just keep it really simple. I just dollar cost average index funds and I automate that. So you can kind of call it my one thing. I don't want to do individual stocks. It's not worth my time, effort, and energy, right? So I don't do that. That's all I do. Like, I don't do crypto. I don't do Bitcoin. I just index funds, automate it, forget it, right? Life insurance, same thing. It's kind of like life insurance, buy index funds, automate it, forget it, one thing, right? So, um, and that's kind of my strategy, right? So it's just buying more properties in Huntsville, Alabama, single family homes, and more apartments in Oklahoma. That's my one thing, right? And even lately, it's just been apartments in Oklahoma. If I want to do a little more work, but if I just want something more passive, then it would just be buying new construction in Huntsville, Alabama, right? So it just depends where I'm at. If I want to take it easy, I just buy new build single family homes in Alabama. If I want to, you know, don't mind renovating a lot and putting in more time and effort, then buy more apartments in Oklahoma, right? So it just depends on my time commitment. If I have a lot, then I can do more apartments in Oklahoma. If I don't want to put much time, then I would buy single family homes in Huntsville, Alabama, and that just depends per season, right? Right now, I'm in a season of just wanting to take it easy, so I'm leaning more towards Huntsville, Alabama new builds. But if I'm at a season where I have more time, let's say I'm stepping away from my W-2, then maybe I'll do more apartments in Oklahoma, right? So that's kind of my one thing. And also, like, for YouTube, right? Like, what's my one thing? Before, I was like posting on like every platform, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all that. Didn't like it, and I realized my one thing is just YouTube, right? I just like long form content, post my one thing, and down the road I could hire a virtual assistant to snip these up to post on Instagram and TikTok, but it doesn't make sense for me right now. I just want to put all my time and effort into getting a lot of good YouTube content out there and let that compound and scale over time, right? So the key point of this book is, after that huge side tangent, is if you just focus on one thing over time, the results become big, right? So like the example they give in the book is, imagine you have a small domino and that domino is tipped over, it can knock something that's twice its height, right? So it starts off at, like, let's say 1 inch, then it becomes 2 inch, then 4 inch, then 8 inch, then 16 inch, then 32 inch, then 64. So you can kind of see the power of compounding, right? If you just do one thing, right? Like if you look at, they talk about the owner of KFC. He just mastered making really good chicken, right? And fast forward, there's like over 2,000 stores. Panda Express, they mastered orange chicken, right? And then now he owns a bunch of stores. Chick-fil-A, they mastered making a chicken sandwich, right? Making a good chicken sandwich, and now they have a lot of stores. So if you just focus on one thing and you do it very well, you'll see the power of compounding, and it's exponential once you give it time, right? So you focus on the one thing and give it a lot of time, and you have extraordinary results, right? So, I learned that the hard way through real estate. Just do one thing, real estate, for a long period of time, right? And then eventually you'll have huge results, right? Like imagine me if I'm buying an apartment complex once every 3 to 4 years, right? Maybe in 3 4 years I buy a 50 unit. 3 4 years I buy another 50 unit. 3 4 years I buy another 50 unit, and I do cash out refinances over time. I can pull out the money and buy more, right? Or Alabama new builds. I buy one every year, and then the cash flow just gives me another one, right? So it's just really for me right now. I'm just trying to sit back and recalibrate what my one thing is. Like, do I want to optimize towards me being able to leave my W-2, right? As I start to family plan, as I start to plan for my wedding and kids in the future. So what is that one thing, right? So it would be, lowering my expenses and simplifying my business, right? So that's kind of tied, right? So what that's leading to, and I've been thinking about a lot, is, well, that's going to be leading me to paying off my primary residence where I live right now, right? Because if I want to lower my expenses and simplify my business, that's how I would do it. I would have to sell a single family home, use that money to pay off this single family home, lowers my expense, simplifies my portfolio a little bit, and then it gives me the straightest path towards retirement, right? If I want to step away from a W-2. So, I could, don't worry about a huge mortgage. I just can focus on paying property tax, insurance, which is, maybe $2,000 a month at most, which is like rent in this area. So I'm really trying to recalibrate myself. What's my one thing that I'm gonna focus on as I'm striving towards that early retirement, right? And family planning. Because now that, I'm gonna get married and have a family, I need to think, does my my future wife want to manage a large portfolio if something were to happen to me? Or do I want a portfolio in a way that's manageable without me, right? So I'm trying to find ways to automate myself out of the picture, to train, which is selfishly why I do these videos as well, because it's all my information, my knowledge on video. So really, went a huge rant here, but the key is you want to find your one thing that you're going to focus on for a long period of time, and do that for a long time, right? And have patience. So for me, it's real estate. I'm gonna do it for the rest of my life, slowly. Focus on the two asset classes I just talked to you about, right? Those three: single family homes in California, single family homes in Huntsville, and apartments in Oklahoma, right? And it might even simplify further as I go down, right? No mobile home park, no self storage, no triple net, none of that. No, right? I'm just sticking in my lane. Those areas which I have unfair advantage in. In terms of like YouTube and social media, YouTube, right? Just can I focus on creating one more video a day and getting better and better slowly over time? Eventually, if I posted 2, 3,000, 4,000 videos, I'll be better, right, than I am today. So just continue to focus on it and make it sustainable. So anyways, hopefully you got value out of this video. Hopefully it gave you clarity as to how I'm trying to figure out what my one thing is as I'm going through different phases of my life. Like I said, right now I'm trying to optimize towards planning for my early retirement, right? Like, what does that look like? Lowering my expenses and simplifying my business, and focusing on my kind of like health, right? So this is why I mean it's seasons. Your one thing can change in seasons, but overall, it should kind of flow in that manner. So, anyways, if you're looking to kind of buy multifamily real estate, with guidance, and you want to make it your one thing, check out the mentorship program. Otherwise, let me know if you have any questions, comments. Give me some key nuggets that you learned from this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much.